This is what Coachella cough sounds like at 10:41 p.m. after I woke up at 4 in the morning to drive back to Palm Springs for my...
You ever go somewhere that's supposed to be one of the best experiences of your life, and halfway through, you realize something feels off, but you can't even explain why yet? Like everything looks right on the outside, the lights, the people, the hype, but underneath it, something just isn't sitting right. That was Coachella 2026. And the craziest part is, nobody showed up expecting that. People came ready for the usual outfits planned weeks in advance. Schedules lined up, money already spent, but what they walked into didn't feel like the same festival people have been hyping for years. It felt heavier, messier, almost like the whole thing was starting to crack in real time, and depending on where you were standing, you either ignored it or you felt it immediately. And before we break all of that down, real quick, if you like content that actually goes deeper than surface-level headlines, hit like, subscribe, because this story, it's not just about a festival, it's about what happens when something that used to feel untouchable starts showing its flaws.
This is a PSA if you're going to Coachella weekend 2. Everyone weekend 1 got a Coachella cough. There's something going around. Dust is so bad. With the way the wind was blowing, it was dust, nose, in your eyes. On a whole other level, it was way worse than any other Coachella I've experienced. Even people who are wearing bandanas still got a Coachella cough. I still feel the dust in my lungs. It is that bad. I'm not even kidding. It's really that bad. It was the worst when leaving after Justin Bieber. The dust was blowing in everyone's eyes as we were going back to the Uber line. Since weekend 1 is already done, now there is less grass on the festival grounds.
So let's get into it, because the first sign that something wasn't right didn't come from the stage. It came from the air, literally. People started arriving for weekend 2, thinking maybe the chaos from weekend 1 was exaggerated. You know how the internet is? Everything gets blown up. Everything becomes the worst ever. But this time, it wasn't exaggeration. The moment people stepped onto the grounds, they felt it. Strong winds pushing through the desert, picking up layers of dust that had already been loosened from weekend 1. And because the grass was basically gone by then, there was nothing holding it down. So now, you've got thousands of people walking around, dancing, moving, kicking even more into the air. And it didn't take long before people started reacting. Not casually either.
Wallahi, if you're a Muslim that goes to Coachella, fear Allah, that place is simply demonic. Literally the only thing I'm seeing and you're seeing probably on your For You page. The fact that influencers are being paid tens of thousands of dollars to come to the event, free hotels, everything just to promote the event, I'm telling you, is demonic. Why are we so caught up in the social media world wanting to be where everything is, where everyone is? It's like a tactic to remove everyone's focus from the main things, like what's happening in Palestine, Lebanon, Pakistan, all over the world. Remember, you're a Muslim and that's always first. Not Justin Bieber being your childhood love. Ooh, Bieber Ella. Allah forgive and guide all of us.
We're talking people coughing non-stop, covering their faces, trying to breathe through it. And this is where that phrase started spreading like crazy Coachella cough. At first it sounded like a joke, something people say to be dramatic, but then more videos started coming out. People waking up in the middle of the night struggling to breathe, people saying their chest hurt, people saying it felt like the dust was sitting in their lungs and wouldn't go away. And suddenly it stopped sounding funny. Because when you've got that many people experiencing the same thing at the same time, it's not just coincidence anymore. And here's where the tension builds, because while all of that is happening, people are still trying to enjoy themselves, still trying to act like everything's fine. You've got people in full festival outfits, sunglasses on, posting content like it's normal, while literally coughing between clips. And that contrast, that's where things start to feel strange. Because now, it's not just about the environment, it's about the image. And that leads straight into the next layer of this whole situation, the influencer conversation. Because while people on the ground are dealing with dust, exhaustion, and packed crowds, online, a completely different kind of storm is building. And it started with one simple question that turned into a full-blown debate: why are certain influencers even here? Specifically, Muslim influencers. And this is where things got uncomfortable fast. Because what started as a few comments turned into entire threads, videos, reactions, people questioning not just the decision to attend, but what it represents. Some were saying it doesn't align with their values. Others were calling it hypocritical. And then the conversation shifted again because people started bringing money into it, saying influencers are getting paid, getting flown out, getting luxury treatment, and asking if that changes the entire purpose of being there. And now you've got two completely different realities colliding. On one side, regular attendees dealing with the physical reality of the festival. On the other side, influencers experiencing a completely different version, private areas, easier access, less chaos. And once people start seeing that difference clearly, it changes how they view everything.
AKA Coachella for the first time and also the last time, last week. Let's talk about it, let's debrief, okay? The fact that it's literally been 3 or 4 days since I posted my last TikTok, I genuinely needed to decompress after Coachella. That was the most overstimulating, insane experience of my life, and that's why I say it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Like, I truly don't really have a desire. I do not have a desire to go back to Coachella unless the only thing that will ever get me out to Coachella is Drake. If Drake performs, you will be seeing me there, okay? Anyways, so I was invited with Metacube, and they gave us artist fans. We had a little hotel, which they rented out an entire really cute vintage hotel for all the Metacube creators. Now, I personally was not paid to go to Coachella. I know a lot of people get like tens and thousands of dollars to attend and like do different posts. I just went with Metacube. I posted like when they get ready with me, and that was that. I don't know if other people were paid for it, but I personally wasn't. I just kind of wanted to go to see Justin Bieber and Sabrina Carpenter. I also have always said like I will never go to Coachella unless I'm invited with a brand. Like I don't want to figure out accommodations. I don't want to figure out how to get into the festival because when you go with a brand, everything is just like a lot easier. You have shuttle service that gets you directly like straight into Coachella, which is only like a 5 or 10 minute walk from where you get dropped off to like the main stage. And also having artist passes, just make sure you can like bypass everything. There's like free water and snacks and stuff like in the VIP artist pass area. You're kind of like hanging out with your peers and celebrities and artists, and really it's cool. And you get like closer access to the stage as well, so you're not like shoved into GA. However, for majority of the performances, it was fine. Like there was space, like you can enjoy yourself. For Justin Bieber, it did not matter if you were in GA, artist, VIP. Everybody was sardines up in there. Okay, everybody. I stood in one spot for an hour and a half in cowboy boot heels, and people, I'm telling you, it was gridlock. People were still trying to shove their way inside so they could be front row. Like it was rude. It was so rude. I feel like there should be concert etiquette. People do not have that, okay? The dust was definitely dusting. Your feet definitely hurt. So should I have worn sneakers? Yes, but I wanted to commit to my fits, and I wore my cowboy boots with some Dr. Scholl's inserts. And honestly, it really helped. My feet were still sore, but I feel like they would have been sore if I wore sneakers anyways. So all the stuff you hear about, like the walking, the hydration, all that, like definitely take those tips in. But that wasn't like the shock factor for me. For me, it was the sheer amount of people. I have never in my life been surrounded by that many people, aside from another religious place that I've been to that I won't mention because stuff would allow me mentioning this, and Coachella video should not happen. But it truly was giving that level of people. I think the one thing that I feel like would have made my experience better is if I actually had a +1. So a lot of the times, at least with the brand that I was with, they didn't allow +1. So low-key, I was kind of alone majority of the time, just vibing. Like some of my friends wanted to see, or like some of the people in the Metacube crew had their own itineraries, people they wanted to see. So I was just kind of like, all right, well, I'm gonna just vibe on my own. I feel like in a place where there's a lot of people, it doesn't really matter. So I saw Justin Bieber alone, I saw Giveon and Kehlani, and I was there screaming, no shame, nothing. And I low-key feel like I kind of enjoyed myself a little bit more because I didn't have to like go on anyone's schedule. But I'd love to have like one of my cousins there or something. Yes, but it wasn't as bad as I thought, honestly. But yeah, overall, I think it was definitely an experience. I'm happy I got to experience, but I'm not running or rushing to go back. Absolutely not, unless Drake comes. And I'm dead serious about that. If Drake ever headlines, just know I'm there.
Because now it's not just we're all here together, it's we're not even having the same experience. And that's where Aisha Haroon comes into the picture, because instead of ignoring the conversation, she actually addressed it. And what she said didn't calm things down, it made it more real. She admitted she didn't enjoy it the way she thought she would, that it was overwhelming, too many people, too much stimulation. And that honesty, it hit different, because now people aren't just criticizing from the outside, they're hearing it from someone who was actually there. And that's when the narrative shifts again from judgment to realization. Because if even the people getting the better version of Coachella aren't fully enjoying it, what does that say about the experience overall? And here's where the deeper rumor starts creeping in that Coachella isn't really about the music anymore. It's about visibility. It's about being seen there, being part of the moment, posting from the right angles. And once that idea takes hold, it's hard to unsee, because suddenly everything starts looking staged. Even the excitement starts feeling forced. And that brings us to what should have been one of the biggest highlights of the weekend, Madonna showing up during Sabrina Carpenter's set. On paper, that's iconic. That's the kind of moment people wait for. But instead of everyone celebrating it, the reaction was split almost instantly. Because within minutes, people online started questioning whether she was actually singing live. Clips started circulating, people analyzing every second. And whether it was true or not didn't even matter anymore. Because once that narrative gets out, it spreads faster than the performance itself. And what made it worse was the comparison happening right next to her, Sabrina Carpenter, who people were praising for her vocals, her energy, her presence. So now you've got two completely different reactions happening at the same time. One performance lifting the moment, the other pulling it down. And that contrast, that's what made everything louder. Then came the second wave criticism about Madonna herself, her outfit, her performance style, her age, people asking if it's time for her to step back. And this is where it gets uncomfortable again, because it stops being about one performance and turns into a bigger conversation about expectations, relevance, and how quickly public opinion can shift. And all of this is happening while people are still dealing with the physical chaos of the festival, so now everything is stacking. The dust, the health concerns, the online backlash, the performance debates, and when all of that hits at once, it creates something bigger than just drama. It creates doubt, because now people are asking a question that feels different this time. Not, was this year bad? But, is Coachella even what it used to be anymore? And that question doesn't go away easily, because once people start reevaluating something they used to trust, every detail starts to matter more. The cost, the crowds, the effort it takes just to move around, the difference between regular access and VIP treatment. And suddenly, it's not just about whether you had fun, it's about whether it was worth it at all. And that's where the real shift happens. Because Coachella used to feel like something exclusive in a good way, something you wanted to be part of. But now, it's starting to feel exclusive in a different way. Like the best version of it is only available to certain people, and everyone else is just trying to keep up. And once that perception sets in, it changes everything. Because now people aren't just thinking about going, they're thinking about whether they should go at all. And maybe that's the biggest twist in this entire situation. Not the dust, not the drama, not even the performances, but the way people are starting to see it differently. Because this wasn't just a bad weekend. This felt like a shift, the kind that doesn't fully show itself right away, but you can feel it happening. And the question now isn't just what Coachella will look like next year, it's whether people will look at it the same way ever again.